We are live. Welcome. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today at Numa Farms and Nursery in Plant City. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. Thanks for coming by. I'm Kendrick Henry, your local Moringa farmer. I'm out of breath. Just setting all this up is an amazing feat. I want to appreciate you for joining us today. I'm so happy you're here. We have so much to go over. This week has been an amazing, amazing week. Wow. I'm kind of thirsty. I could really use some tea actually. Just to go ahead and get right into this program here, I wanted to show you how I make Moringa tea. This is the tea here. It's wonderful. We actually added a little mix of yerba mate to the mix here. It's mostly with Moringa greens. We'll go ahead and let this steep while we're talking a little bit. This is my little French press here. So I'll go ahead and put some leaves in there. You know, it's all on taste, whatever you feel. Could just be a couple tablespoons. Doesn't need to be much. Man, took us like an hour to set this up. We had so many customers in today. It's been a wonderful Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great spring so far. This has been a great spring, the best spring that we've ever had. So we've got some hot water here, and we're gonna go ahead and just pour this in. Ooh, yes. Went ahead and just heated this up before we got in here. Nice. So we'll just let that steep for a few minutes. Smells good already. Got my little mixer here. Great. So we'll just let that steep for a few minutes while we're getting into the day. I could really use some tea. Power me up. Been running around this farm all morning. We gave tours and talks. Probably gave about 3 separate tours already today. It's been beautiful. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us here at the beautiful Moringa farm in Plant City that we're building and growing together with the Moringa Growers Co-op. We're live today at Numa Nursery's YouTube channel as well as the Moringa Growers Co-op Facebook group. And if things are backwards on the Facebook group, please just come on over to the Numa Nursery YouTube channel. We're going to be able to go live on our Moringa Growers Co-op YouTube channel if you subscribe to the Moringa Growers Co-op YouTube channel. Once we get 1,000 subscribers, we'll be able to go live there. It'll be really great. Guys and ladies, if you haven't yet, please visit moringagrowerscoop.org. We have a free ebook. It's the fast track to success on how you can get started in becoming a profitable Moringa farmer like myself. Well, we're just getting started. We've made some cash and we have to calculate what our profits are going to be at the end of the year. We want to go ahead and teach you as well the business, the industry. I mean, this is a $4 billion a year industry. And since this is still a startup, we are hiring employees, we're getting our taxes together, we're figuring out all of our deductibles, we're figuring out if this is really going to be profitable this year. I'd like to think so. We made $100,000 between all of the different products that we make from Moringa, just between farmers markets, on-site visitors, the websites, and through our affiliate marketing techniques. And so we're figuring out the real way to make profit from Moringa is to diversify. Now, people are like, Kendrick, when are you going to sell other things? When are you going to talk about other things other than Moringa? And it's like, you know, why even jump off the Moringa ship just yet when we really haven't built up the audience to the point where I feel that it's at a critical mass where if I go on the street and I say, hey, you ever heard of Moringa? Most of the people are like, no. Well, then my job for Moringa isn't done yet because at heart, I'm a marketer, I'm an advertiser, I'm a salesman, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an educator, a teacher. And I want everybody to know about Moringa. And that's my ultimate goal here with you today. Kendrick with Florida wasn't so far from Arizona. Lena is wishing us a wonderful day today. Thanks, Lena. She's out in Arizona. Thanks for commenting. Let us know where you are. If you're watching and you want to get connected with Moringa growers in your area, this is the hub. And we'll connect you, and you will connect yourself to people. And we have tons and tons of watchers, visitors, callers from Arizona. Really happy that you're with us today, Lena. Thanks so much for joining us. We're gonna be going over scaling and farming Moringa for profit, because through the grapevine, we have heard that Moringa is a cash crop, and that there are farmers all over the world that are making high profits from Moringa. And we're testing this model out right now. And I've been farming Moringa for 7 years. It's been a living. I've been living off of Moringa alone myself for 7 years. Now, to say how much we've made, how much we've profited, those are things and numbers that I'm still learning. I'm an artist at heart, and I need a team. I need a team to join us, to teach us how to do accounting, how to do bookkeeping, how to do all the things that maybe I may not be able to do as one person. So if you're interested in joining the team, first download this book at moringagrowerscoop.org and let us know if you'd like to join the team. We're searching for directors, volunteers, marketers, salespeople. We're even looking for a president for the Moringa Growers Co-op right now. We're looking for, just a huge variety of people all over the world, cultures, ethnicities. We want to have a well-rounded group of people in the room that either have known about Moringa their whole lives or haven't heard about Moringa up until now and want to learn and are avid and enthusiastic about teaching others about Moringa. We've got a lot to talk about. I come live here every Saturday at 1 o'clock, really just to share the power and the benefits of Moringa. We had a couple that came in today, and they had a really wonderful testimonial about their son and how he used Moringa to help recover from brain cancer. And I actually know someone from many years ago at the farmer's market, a friend of mine, also used Moringa to help recover from brain cancer. And we actually sold them some oil because I really feel like the oil is a brain food. It is a wonderful, wonderful way to consume Moringa. It's a monosaturated fatty acid, which is really, really great for the brain, the blood, the heart. And it comes from the seeds, the Moringa seeds. And we're already jumping all over the place right now today. We've got so many things that I want to cover and go over. And we're already just a few minutes in. I'm really happy that you guys are joining us. We grow Moringa organically in the Tampa Bay area. Here we are, we're in Plant City. And about 5-6 years ago, I started a cooperative. This cooperative now is worldwide, and we have affiliate growers all over the world supplying the cooperative with organic Moringa seeds, greens, especially like in the Tampa Bay area. I spent the whole week harvesting greens just to keep up with the stock. We just sold several kilograms of powder and loose leaf just this morning, just from customers that are coming in. So if you'd like to come in, visit us, grab some fresh Moringa. We're available every day between 10 and 2 o'clock. And we'd love for you to come by. If you have questions about the Moringa tree, please give me a text message at 813-567-3100. This would be the best way to get in touch with me. Text message really quick. Actually, this morning I got up 6-7 o'clock and got back to like 10 people that messaged me over the evening. I got this taped up this time, so this isn't falling over, you bet. It's pretty windy out here. I must have manifested this wind because sometimes I'm like, man, it's really stagnant over here. Could be the time of year. It's beautiful, beautiful out. Happy spring 2021. I hope everyone is well and healthy and using Moringa. So please contact me at 813-567-3100 if you need to get me on the text message. Now, if you need to get me on a call, please call between about 10 and 2. I'd be more than happy to answer your call. Any questions you have, you can also comment here, but call me at 813-690-6516. Wonderful. And if you'd like to apply to any of those positions that I mentioned earlier, you can email us at grow@moringagrowerscoop.org. And we're looking for directors, members that are in leadership roles. Look at that, just a few minutes, and we've got a nice tea forming here. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and take this out, and I'll just strain this here. This is called a French press, and it keeps those leaves at the bottom. And now we've got a wonderful tea. Yeah, it took me a few minutes to figure out all the things all the props that I needed here today. All right, so we got the tea here. This is just from the loose leaf. Let's see, I got some fresh honey from the farm here. This is all we have left right now. I got to go out and make another harvest. Actually, one of our queens, she swarmed. My fault. I got to be checking the hives more. I got to make sure that if a queen hatches out of there, I got to take that frame out and put it in another hive. Otherwise, those queens are going to fight. One's going to leave, the other one's going to leave. The rule is only one queen per house. That goes for bees and humans. All right, let's see here. Get this turned around. There we go. Wonderful. Love being outside in nature, drinking some tea. I drink this tea mostly every day. This is a great source of protein, liquid protein. It's got a little bit of yerba mate. Don't blow over on me now. Hold up. Got a little bit of fresh Numa honey here. So put that in there. Woo, it is a windy one. Hopefully this doesn't blow over. Beautiful. All right. Very nice. So we'll stir this up. A little bit of honey in there for some sweetener. Let's try it out. That is fantastico. Magnificente. Maravilloso. All the different languages. Moringa, moringa, malangai. Drumstick tree. A lot of Indians that typically consume moringa, they really only consume the drumstick part of the tree, which is where the seeds are found in the seed pods. They'll call us up all the time, hey, do you have any moringa drumsticks? And they're not really interested in the leaves. And that's just because traditionally in India, it's so common that there's leaves everywhere, and the most valuable part of the tree is actually the drumstick. And the leaves is really just a beneficial byproduct of the tree. But really, here in the US right now, the leaves and every part of the tree is really just getting known. People are trying it in mass quantities. So if you need to get something in bulk, just let me know. I've got plenty of moringa in bulk. We're making harvest local, organic, fresh, USA. Provided by the Moringa Growers Co-op. Now, I started the Moringa Growers Co-op as well as my brand, Numa, here that you see. And eventually, Numa and the nursery is going to start offering other plants and other products and soil. Today, we had a guy come in and he just picked up a truckload of soil and mulch. And so we're going to have other things, and that's going to be a part of Numa. Then we have the Moringa Growers Co-op, which is its own thing, its own entity. And if you want to learn more about the Moringa Growers Co-op, just download this free Fast Track to Success manual. It's about 10 pages, quick read. It'll teach you all about how to get in as a member owner of the co-op. Yes, we're flowing right now. We went over the oil. We went over the yerba mate, moringa mix. I took my moringa supplements today. Got the capsules already on lock. I had a moringa smoothie earlier. I'm pumped. Here it is, already about like 2 something in the afternoon. I've been going at it since 7 a.m. on a Saturday, and it's beautiful. We're loving it out here. Loving the peace, serenity, and grateful for our health and our wellness. Thank you to all of the elders that are continuing to take care of themselves, eating and drinking healthy, and living long, prosperous lives. Salud. These seeds here, they grow into moringa trees. This is what we're going to be talking about today, how to become profitable quick. The fastest way to be profitable growing moringa wherever you are. We want you to get your farm together. Someone here is from India. Good to see you. Like to see that you're enjoying the moringa tea. Amazing. So someone from India is actually saying that they love the moringa tea as well. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So happy that we have watchers all over the world. The Moringa Growers Co-op is starting to get some attention all over the world. We have a lot of people asking us if we could buy their moringa. And we're learning about what a cooperative stands for and what it does. And in the past, I mentioned how the cooperative may be able to purchase moringa from you. In fact, we work together directly with the farmers and we help to get the moringa sold. Essentially, we're a marketing agency. A lot of the problems that we find are people, especially that are farmers, are disconnected from the buyers. They might have hundreds of acres of moringa, but they need to find the people that are interested in consuming the moringa. And we connect those. We're brokers. We connect those. Yes, they grow. Moringa grows all over the world, and we appreciate the comment. Please, if you have any questions about moringa, I would love for you to comment here, so that way we can all learn about the moringa tree today. We're drinking the tea here. Love the moringa tea, and I'm going to get into how to grow moringa for profit, because we just came out with some information this week. We have a member of the co-op that has an 8-acre property. A huge 8-acre property. Okay, and it's right off the highway. Here, we have a really nice highway here called I-4. So it gets lots of wind. And this property is parceled out with several sections. And so we're working together with the owner, and we're going to start focusing on one section of the farm. Just in this first year, we're going to just start off growing this one section. Hopefully everybody can see this pretty well. I'll blow this up so that way you guys can see it. You know, maybe that's what I should do actually. I'm going to go ahead. Let's do this. Just because I'm a graphics person, I like to have things big. What I'll do is I'll redraw this over here. This will be quick, right? And this is the 8-acre property. All right. It's parceled out in sections, right? And let's just blow up one of these sections. So we're going to blow one of these sections up here. Let's blow this one up. And this will be here. There we go. Nice. So this is the one section here. This will be 1 acre. And this is a huge question that we get all the time. How many moringa trees can we grow on an acre? How many on 1 acre? Great question. And this is how we're going to help you get your moringa farm started and become profitable, so that way you can start working with the Moringa Growers Co-op, providing high quality material in bulk, so that way we can help get you sold, get that moringa on the market, out the door, so that way people can start consuming it and benefiting from your organic moringa farm that you're starting up. We have a lot of people that are in the room right now that already have huge amounts of acreage that are growing large amounts of moringa, similar to this model that we're about to tell you. And there's different ways to grow moringa for the time frame that you're in. Someone here is also starting to start their moringa farm in India. Wonderful. It's a great climate for moringa. I'm so happy we have so many people in the room right now that are in India. Wonderful. Why? Because moringa is native to India and Africa India supposedly broke off millions and millions of years ago. It slammed into Asia, and moringa was found on both land masses, Africa and India. And originally, there was maybe only 1 or 2 varieties of moringa that started out, but now there's 13 varieties. The main one that grows in India is the oleifera, the one that we grow here. And it's even developed into many sub varieties and variations of moringa, and this one particular is the one that we grow called the PKM1. And it grows really, really well here in Florida. It produces a little bit more of a red stem and branch. I believe that that's accumulating high amounts of beta carotene and other vitamins and minerals, melanin, and it's also helping to it helps when it's really, really hot. You know, that red, it does really, 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 really well in high desert heat, tropical conditions. It's a very, very resilient tree, which is why you can grow it pretty much any tropical, subtropical region, desert, arid area with very minimal to little to no irrigation. And that's a question that we're going to be answering even here today, and how to become profitable on your moringa farm. This is going to blow your mind. This is going to blow your mind. All right. So let's talk about transportation on the property. Okay, so we want to have transportation, right? So we want to be able to have some transportation to be able to go through the property on the borders, possibly just for traveling, maybe tractors, large vehicles. So you want to make sure you leave enough room, especially on the property, to possibly even have some border. You know, we want to have some borders, right? You might leave a little bit down here for a border, okay? Next thing you want to do is think about your time frame. You have phases, different phases. So you might have 3 phases. Phase 1. Okay? Phase 2. Phase 3. And this all might happen in the course of 3 years to 5 years. Let's just say this is a 3-year plan to become the most profitable moringa farmer in your city or in your area, province, county, town, municipality, agricultural district. And we'll start off with some rows. Now, I am an architect and I do love following contours. I love key lining swales on contour. I love the whole permaculture theory. It works wonderful and it's great. This is just a diagram, basic diagram for just maybe a flat plane. And we're going to just do rows here as a diagram, as an example. But I would love to see and love to perform some designs on your property, maybe with a little bit more creativity and artistic aesthetics. That's my specialty. Okay, so let's have a raised bed here. Okay, let's have a raised bed here. Have a raised bed here. And we're just going to put a bunch of raised beds. And I'll tell you what I mean by a raised bed. Okay? So we're going to plan out the next couple years with these raised beds. Now, whether or not this is north or south or east or west, it kind of depends on where the sun is in your area, whether in the north, south, east, or west hemispheres, things like that. Also depends on the slope, depends on the sun positioning. But just diagramical. I have a border here with some beds. Now, what is a raised bed? I'm making raised beds right now from moringa cuttings. Bam! Ha! Moringa cuttings. So I go and make harvests out here in town, and I'll cut the trees back because they're getting too big. It's too big for residential areas, maybe HOA areas, And what's really great about the moringa is that it grows from a cutting. You can grow moringa from a seed very, very well. It grows a very nice tap root. It's a really, really great way to grow moringa trees. Very, very deep tap, not very, very deep. Tap roots tend to go down to the water table. So wherever it is, maybe it's 5 feet, 10 feet, they generally are very soft. So you can easily pull out a huge tree out of the ground. Like I've taken out big trees out of the ground just by shaking them around, a couple years old, right? And 10 years old trees, and I'm pulling them out of the ground with my hands. They might weigh 100 pounds or something. I'm just kind of chopping the roots off, and they don't regrow from the roots. They don't spread from the roots. And so you can plant these directly in the ground. So you can take these cuttings and you can stick it right in the ground up into about here. And all of this will regrow and turn into a root system. Everything above the soil will start regrowing. This is going to regrow a shoot. This is going to regrow a shoot. It's going to start forming a whole new tree from this cutting. You can also lay this cutting down on the ground and potentially cover it with a little bit of soil and mulch. And this will turn into a shoot. This will turn into a shoot. This will turn into a shoot. And then you'll have 4 or 5 trees with this, and this will turn into a root system. This will form a huge root system off the side here. You can even plant it sideways like this. You can plant it pretty much any way. You can even just lay this right on the ground, and during the rainy season, potentially this could even re-sprout. This is so popular in India and Africa and the Caribbean, subtropical, tropical regions around South America, Central America, Africa and Mexico, Cuba, Puerto Rico, all over the world, especially the Philippines. Oh man, this South Asia love this, especially some places of China in the south there. So I make my raised beds from these cuttings. I'm a permaculturalist, and I use a form of growing beds called hugelkultur. Hugelkultur. You can read that. I know it's a little sloppy right now. I'm not a doctor, I'm an architect. But hugelkultur is actually where you take these cuttings, say you got a cutting here, and you I'll mound it up on the sides. And I'll take the cuttings and I'll create like if this is the ground, I'm creating kind of like a raised up area like this here, and I'm adding a little bit of material like mulch and soil, and it creates this bed here, raised bed. So you want to prepare these, especially like in tropical regions, because you get these downpours in the summer, you get these monsoons and just rainy season, and you want the water to be able to run off into these channels and potentially off the property or store it somewhere, maybe slow it and sink it. These are techniques that we talk about in permaculture. I hope you guys are having fun so far. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about how to grow moringa for profit in a large scale. This is how we're getting the co-op started. This is how several of our members right now, they're getting started. We already have hundreds of farmers around the world that are growing moringa in this intense style of planting. And that's what phase 1 is. Phase 1 is intense. Okay, and this is how you start your farm, is the intense style in a raised bed, and you do it very, very close together. So if this is a zoomed in block of this raised bed here, right? This is a zoomed in block of the raised bed. what you're going to do is you're going to plant your trees 1 foot apart. Bam, 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 bam. Okay? Just plant them 1 foot apart. I know that sounds pretty intense. We actually had someone message us and say, hey, can we do it 6 inches apart? And I'm just like, well, how are they going to spread out, and how are they going to create a nice canopy, or how are they going to be able to circulate air and oxygen between those leaves? And how are they going to be able to get a little bit bigger, so that way we can bring them over from the intense side into the phase 2 or phase 3, or even flow phase 1 into 2 or 3. I know you're like, well, what's 2 and 3? Ha-ha! Okay, so this is intense. And this is how you're going to start. Phase 1 essentially is how you get started. You're going to get, I'm going to tell you how many trees you can get on 1 acre. So stay tuned, please. Stay in touch with us. I don't want to lose you here. This is how we're getting this cooperative going. And this is how we want to teach some of our members how to grow moringa on 1 acre, so that way they can become the most profitable the fastest. The second way is you're going to do it as a hedge. Okay, so you got the hedge. This second way here, and I'll go ahead and put this one here, and we'll go ahead and zoom this over here. I'll go ahead and get this zoomed up. We'll go ahead and get this one zoomed up, and this is what I'll tell you what this is in a second. With us? With us? Wonderful. Thanks, guys and ladies and everyone around the world. We've got the hedge. This one's going to be much more... Okay, so we've got this one is 1 foot apart. Okay? This one, this hedge, is going to be much more about 5 to 10 feet apart. Okay, and you're going to do much more of like a staggered row. Now, what I like to do on my hedge condition, and this is the raised bed, I like to have 2 rows, and I like to stagger them. So that way they're about 5 feet apart from the tree, but they're about 10 feet apart in the row. So they're about 5 feet apart sideways and about 10 foot apart in the length. So it's about like this. So you've got about 10 feet between the tree, but you have about 5 foot between the distance horizontally, 10 feet versus the distance vertically. And I can kind of blow that up here and maybe even zoom in on this here, and you can see this. I have some drawings about this at moringagrowerscoop.org. You can learn how to start planting out your farm to become profitable with moringa, just through maybe even making an acre out of phase 2 if you want to just do phase 2. But the quickest way to get cash is focusing on this phase 1, while the phase 2 and phase 3 is getting started and getting established, and the root system is getting established. You could either do cuttings. You can either stick these cuttings in the ground. I wouldn't recommend cuttings for the intense. That's right. And we have someone talking right here from India that's saying that this is the best way to become profitable for production and growing moringa. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for just reassuring us that we're doing things right here. People have never even heard this before in the USA, never even considered that growing a tree 1 foot apart is even possible. But this is a very short living tree. It's a very fast growing tree. And this system allows you to either pull the greens out, the trees out, and plant them in pots, possibly sell that in your nursery. We have a whole list and gambit of things that you can continue to make profit off of these each individual phases on your farm just by growing moringa. So you've got your hedge condition. It's on a staggered row. They're about 10 feet apart in the row, about 5 foot apart in the diagonal, right? Okay. Then you've got your orchard. Okay. And I like to do a little bit more distance. And this is honestly really just single tree. You might be asking, what's the distance? What's the distance? Hold on, hold on. These are 5 foot wide. No, I'm sorry. These are 10 foot wide beds with a 10 foot wide row, with a 10 foot wide bed and a 10 foot wide row. And you can go about 15 feet between the rows if you'd like to get a larger vehicle between. You can go smaller, say maybe 6 feet, if you just want to put like maybe a little drive path through. And even if you just want to walk through this path, you can make it even tighter. It's all based on your system. I really just like a lot of space. I like a lot of circulation, a lot of air. I like to bring in some vehicles for harvesting, so that way we can just drop the greens right in the vehicle and take it right off. Also for dropping off material. So like I like to drop material off in these rows like mulch, free mulch. So every year I'll get trucks to come in. They'll be dropping mulch in between these rows, because here in Florida, mulch is gold for building soil, and it helps with microorganisms. It breaks down and aerates. It's all the nutrients that those oak trees are pulling up out of the ground. This is repurposed, and the carbon is sequestered back into the soil, and it really works really well. It can break down within 1 year here. Everything breaks down really fast and turns into sand. So you can continue to build up the soil using this free oak mulch. This is an unlimited resource here, because it's growing so fast. The DOT is cutting trees along the street, and they need places to drop the material. So they're happy to drop it off. Otherwise, they have to pay to drop it off somewhere. So I get mulch dropped off on hundreds of locations. When someone calls, I want to get started, we get them hooked up with a free mulch delivery, so that way they can start building soil. So this is about a 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 block. And you can adjust this given your particular. And if you need me to help consult you on your particular property to know exactly what's right for your property and what you need for your special conditions, just give me a ring. Let me know. I have an opportunity to consult with you here at the Moringa Growers Co-op, and go to moringagrowerscoop.org and get a consultation with myself. If you need to get me on the phone one-on-one, I'd be happy to answer all these questions particular to your project. All right. In the orchard condition, we're just really doing one tree every 12 to 15 feet. So that way this tree can grow and expand to be a full-size tree. Become a full-size tree with drumsticks. And so this, by the third year, you've got your orchard about 12 to 15 feet apart. Okay? So you've got this different style here, just on 1 acre. Okay? And you could do the whole thing. You could either do the whole thing intense. You could even just do the whole thing orchard if you've got time and you just want the whole thing to just be for drumstick. Mind you, you're going to get greens the entire time. But if you want to become profitable super fast, super quick, the best way is to get this kind of like in a phased system. And you can get, dun da da dum. Where am I going to put it? Here? Everybody can see? Where I'm going to, how many can you get? 20,000 trees. You want to get 20,000 trees at least on 1 acre. We know farmers around the world in Nicaragua, they put 100,000 trees on an acre because they're doing the whole acre intense. 2, 4, 6, and then you have maybe 7 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 100,000 trees on an acre easily fits 100,000. But I am suggesting that with the co-op, you have it in phases. Start off with 20,000 trees on 1 acre. Start off with about, I think it's about like 10 to 15,000 trees really just in this little strip. Then you've got about 1,000 here, maybe about 500 here. Where did I put that drawing? I have it on the Moringa Growers Co-op Instagram. Did you have a question? Please text me 813-567-3100. Let's go to Instagram. I haven't been to the Moringa Growers Co-op Instagram on this phone in a while, so I'm not sure if I can maybe even get in. Let's see here. Let's see. No. It's okay. Go to Moringa Growers Co-op Instagram. It'll tell you exactly how I took a little photograph of this drawing that I took earlier in the week. Just helping one of our grower members out to get this fully established. I would start the intense with seedlings from seed. Then from there, I would probably even start the orchard or even the hedges with the cuttings. Just sticking these cuttings in the ground. You could get some cuttings from other locations. We have cuttings here because we're cutting trees back all the time. So if you're in the local area and want to order just some cuttings from us, get like 10,000 cuttings. We'll get a pile of cuttings over to your property. And you can start laying out your hedge. You can start laying out your orchard. And that's pretty much how you're going to get the quick profit. We figured that from this entire system in 1 year, so in the first year, you could potentially raise enough greens from the property, harvest enough greens from the property to get about 2 tons. 2 tons. Okay? That's 4,000 pounds. 4,000 pounds. And at a retail price, not wholesale price, at a retail price, in the US, we're selling kilos, which is 2.2 pounds worth of moringa for upwards of $100 a kilo, especially if it's powder. Share the Instagram account. It's Moringa Growers Co-op, all one word. Moringa Growers Co-op, IG, Moringa Growers Co-op, at Moringa Growers Co-op, and I just took that photo there for you so you can see. And we're going to also get into some webinars, some free webinars, so that way we can get some farmers around the world in the room just talking with us, learning from us, sharing with us. They're also trying to get their moringa sold. We want to help them. We also want to get everyone registered as a farmer in the Moringa Growers Co-op, so that way we can help get your moringa sold on the market, do some advertising for you, help find some customers that are in the US that may be wanting to purchase moringa from Pakistan or India or Africa or the Philippines, all over the world. So that way someone in the US, maybe from the Philippines or India, can buy moringa even through the co-op from their homeland. And we want to really connect the farmers with the buyers, and that's really what the co-op is about. So if you want to see the photo that I took of this system, it's at Moringa Growers Co-op Instagram, and I'll share the link here in the description below. If you haven't yet, please like this video. If you're getting some good tips and knowledge from this video, please like this video and subscribe on over to the Moringa Growers Co-op. It's in the description. Just click that link, go over to the Moringa Growers Co-op Facebook group, Moringa Growers Co-op Instagram, and Moringa Growers Co-op YouTube channel. And we're getting this entire cooperative started right now. We've got about 2,000 seedlings just sprouting in the greenhouse right now. We just brought about 1,000 seedlings out last week that are ready to go in the mail. We're shipping hundreds and hundreds of trees out of the mail every single day. And we have a special right now, even just at moringagrowerscoop.org. You can get 10 free moringa trees, just like this. It'll come to you just like this with each starter kit. And inside the starter kit, we're providing you with a huge value of products to try. If you've never tried moringa before, you can try the powder, you can try the capsules, you can try the tea, you can try the spice, you can try the deodorants and the salves that we make using the oil. We press the seeds and make oil, and we put that in cosmetic products. I mean, moringa is a huge industry around the world. Anyone will tell you around the world, moringa is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry, at least $4 billion. It's doubled in the last 5 years. It's gonna triple in the next 2. And we're gonna help with that. So that way everybody learns about the value and the potential energy that this tree has to help prevent hunger around the world. Because it's completely edible. That is good. Delicioso. That's super, super spicy. My goodness. That's how you know it's good. Traditionally, Indians love to eat moringa drumsticks in a soup called sambar. It's a tomato-based soup, and it's known all over around the world as a famine food, as a malnutrition. It helps to relieve malnutrition and prevent malnutrition because it's so much rich in vitamins and minerals. I'm really grateful for our community here in the US. Indians around the world have been just coming in, loving what we're doing. Crazy story, Ariel actually put I think some items that we had for sale online for sale, and we had someone come by to pick it up. I think we just had like a computer screen for sale. The gentleman was from Tamil, India, Tamil, and I recognized him right away, at least from somewhere in the south, from India. And we made the sale. You know, I didn't say anything. He showed up here. He didn't think anything. He was saying bye. And I said, hey, man, you know the drumstick tree? He turned around so quick. He was like, what do you know about the drumstick? And I tell you what, he ended up hanging out here for like a whole hour, told me some recipes that his family makes using the drumsticks. Oh, man, I learned just so much just from the tradition of using this wonderful, wonderful, ancient, sacred tree. Crazy story, I even had a guy come in today. He's from the Philippines, and he even came out here and he prayed to the moringa because he believes that the moringa tree was also the tree that was mentioned in the Bible that Jesus mentioned as like the miracle tree. I'm like, this tree was in the Bible? And he's like, oh yes, this is the miracle tree. This is the tree that was in the Bible. This is the tree that Jesus was talking about and gave. Supposedly Jesus was a yogi, you know, and traveled around the world before returning to his homeland, and learned about yoga and learned about the moringa tree possibly from the Indians. Oh man. I mean, I'm having a real joy just meeting all different types of people. I'm actually in a multicultural fraternity known as Sigma Beta Rho. I joined Sigma Beta Rho in 2005. when I was going to school at Embry-Riddle. A huge international community of students were going to school there. And I was new to the area, Daytona Beach. And I joined up with a bunch of really cool guys. We were having some fun, and they recruited me into this multicultural fraternity known as Sigma Beta Rho. And I learned so much about Indians and Africans because it's so multicultural. We had so many international students, and I just love being in the mix, learning about different types of people that I found out about Moringa even back then, didn't even really know about it. I was going to my family's houses and friends' houses, and their parents were cooking a sambar, and I didn't even realize what it was. I was just eating it until about 2013 when I really first heard about Moringa from Dr. Sebi. And then I really started making those connections. Oh man, I've heard about this even beforehand. So Moringa goes back ancient, thousands of years, at least 5,000 years. It's mentioned in an ancient text that was orally passed down for thousands of years. It's called the Mahabharata, and it's an ancient Indian text, and the Moringa tree is even mentioned in that text as well. And it's been an agricultural gem. It's been something that has really just helped in sustaining people for thousands and thousands of years. And I'm really interested in teaching everyone in the U.S. around the world about this. Totally the miracle tree. Thank you so much. And we want to help you get started. So I was just mentioning that in the first year, you can get about 2 tons, about 4,000 pounds. And if you do everything right now, and we can help get your Moringa sold, we're going to try to get it sold for a really high dollar amount, because we want to take care of the farmers. We want to take care of your families. We want to make sure that you're not in poverty in order to help get this product to market. So one of the really great things that the co-op does is it helps to get the farmers paid a higher amount. Now, in competition, usually like the capital system helps to kind of regulate prices. And so with supply and demand and also quality in the mix, we're gonna really try our best to get the highest amount back to the farmer. By the way, cooperatives operate at cost. All the profits that the cooperative makes doesn't go back to the CEO. It doesn't go back to myself, the founder. All of the profits in a cooperative are shared evenly amongst the members, the growers, the farmers, and everyone sees a profit at the end of the day. So we have an at-cost price that you will automatically see back in return, the at-cost. So including with labor, including with, helping with taxes and land value, things like that, that's going to determine how much you get back from your sales. Because we're going to have growers on 1/8 of an acre, and we're going to have growers on 800 acres. And we're scaling this cooperative to help benefit every different size grower. So that way you can go from 1/8 of an acre to, say, one day eventually having 800 acres of Moringa. And yeah, people are like, well, land is not, they're not making any more land, and it's becoming more and more divided and parceled out. So you want to go ahead and try to get as much land as you can together now before it's all gone. And so right now on paper, this is kind of like tentatively what we have on paper. We're trying to get back at least to the farmer that's doing everything on their own without, say, maybe the help from the co-op. They might have their own labor. They might have their own family members. They might have their own team of people that are doing things that they pay, or maybe have them living on the property in return for working. Things like that. There's all kinds of trade systems and things like that involved with farming. Tentatively, we have this thing where if you're doing everything, then we're going to try to get back to you $30 per kilo. And that sounds like quite a bit, but the demand in the USA is so high for moringa, and the supply is, say, maybe so low because a lot of Americans, they want USA grown moringa. And if you're in India, one of the reasons why I say some of the prices are so low, yeah, it's cheaper to grow it and it's more prevalent there. But a lot of people in the US, they want it from a local source. And it's one of the reasons why I started the co-op. It's one of the reasons why I started Numa, is because I wanted, and I saw a shortage of moringa grown locally, say in California, Texas, Arizona, Florida. And those are really all the southern states that it can grow more so like all year round. But did you know that you can grow moringa in the northern states, like in the Carolinas and even in Mississippi, Louisiana, and even across the plain there for more of like a 6th to 7th month season over the summer, say starting in the spring and ending in the fall. And you might have a shorter season, but you can grow it as an annual in this intense raised system, just like this. Every year, plant out your annual, do 20,000 trees, 60,000, 100,000 trees on your 1 acre. Harvest the greens every 30 days. Every 30 days, just harvest the greens. Just boom, just what I did right there. Just go ahead and chomp it off. Use like a little lettuce cutter. Just kind of like chop it off. And it'll regrow every 30 days. This product will be ready for you to harvest every 30 to 45 days. You're just harvesting the greens right off of there. And so that's how you can get about 2 tons worth of moringa just off of one acre. And so if you're getting about $30 per kilo, which means you're getting about $15 per pound, okay? Let's do a little calculation. Calculator. If you're getting about $15 per pound and you've got about 4,000 pounds potentially, you got about $60,000 US just off of 1 acre that you're generating in 1 year. Okay, so that equals about $60,000. Okay, and that's just if you're doing this kind of system in 1 year, you could get about 60,000 just from that. And that doesn't even include if, say, you started to get some drumsticks even off the first year. Drumsticks go even over here, and yes, you can get drumsticks in the first year, especially if you're going with the cuttings. This has what's called like a big brother effect, a big sister effect, where the DNA of this elder tree is in this. And so when you stick this in the ground, it already has that memory of being a 5-year-old, 10-year-old tree. And they start producing flowers super fast, and they're just flowering. They might resprout a little bud here and then flower and then drumstick quick. So you might get, a couple hundred drumsticks off of this, right? So let's say you get about, I don't know, maybe maybe 200 pounds of drumstick. I'm sure you can get more. I mean, drumsticks are super heavy. They get really plump. You can get about $8 a pound right now, if not more, for the drumstick at more of like a wholesale cost. But if you're doing 200 times $8 a pound, that's about $1,600 just off of this little 1/3 of an acre, right? That's nothing much, right? But you get more harvests. So you could get possibly 2 sets of drumsticks in the first year because they grow super fast. So you get about 16, let's say, about 2,000. It's not much, $2,000 off of that if you sell it fresh. Not to mention, if you dry some of them out, you've got the seeds, so you've got seeds for sale. okay? Then say you've got some seeds left over and you've got a little machine there and you can press, then you've got oil, okay? So every little which way that you're doing this and you're upselling and you're adding value, I think they call that, what do they call that? Yeah, value added. It's a value added product. It's a value added product. And so you're creating things like capsules and you're getting them quickly in your thing. I'm a farmer and I'm doing this myself. And it doesn't take much to just open up your mind to consider that the farmer not only needs to connect to the buyer, but also needs to have a presentable product, you know? Just getting it in a nice, clean form in a way that is presentable with a simple logo is not that complicated in today's world. It's 2021. You know, you can easily print something like this, stick a logo on it, stick your logo on it, and it's a beautiful, simple packaging that gets it out the door to where you've used the co-op to help you get started, help you get going, help possibly with the services and establishing the design and possibly implementing and building this system. But after you have everything in place, you know, you may not want to continue the membership. You may want to kind of go off on your own. Guess what? It's a free world and you can do that as well. You can have as much or little contact or relationship with the co-op as you'd like. We want this to be a free system where we can give information out to everybody and want to teach them how they can make money and make profit quickly just by growing moringa, even in their own backyard. You can take a small portion of your backyard, small scale. You can get this system even really on 1/8 of an acre. You could divide your 1/8 of an acre. If you had a house here, you could divide this out and do the same exact thing and get your intense bed, have your hedgerow around the edge, and then throughout the yard you could have your orchard. So you can do all of these things even just by growing this in your backyard. And it may not be $60,000 to $100,000 growing moringa in 1 year. You know, it might be 1,000, but that's 1,000 more than you had. It's also more food than you had. You can consume this food on your own. And I really do believe that you can take a pound, and I know that we're saying $15, right? $15 for a pound, you know, that's in bulk. That's in like a bulk order. You know, those are for farmers that are selling in the bulk order. That allows other retail buyers to buy your moringa and to upsell it. But if you're doing everything and you're selling this even at retail, you can turn, and I do this every day, I turn a kilo into $500 because I break it down into 10-gram packages and I sell 10-gram packages out the door for just $5. Just boom, $5, no big deal at the farmer's market, and I'm making $500 off of 1 kilo. Okay, I am making $500 off of 1 kilo because I put it into 10-gram baggies. And this is where we can help all of our retail sellers get it in a 10-gram baggie. You're making up to $500. Even this 50-gram bag or 100-gram bag is $10. You know, hook them up. You know, that's at least $100 to $200 that we're making off of a kilo. And if you do that real quick, and if you're generating, and you're much more of a self-sufficient system on your own property, you've got a small little greenhouse pumping out these seedlings, and you're getting the trees planted every year, and you have a little system going, then you could potentially turn your 4,000 pounds, or what is that, is that 2,000 kilos? About 2,000 kilos. Is that kind of what it is? I know it said 2 tons. Yeah. Yeah, 2,000 kilos, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know I'm not a mathematician. I'm an architect, not an engineer. People ask me all the time, oh, you must be really good at math. No, I failed math terribly. I took calculus 3, 2, and 1 like 7 different times. Like, no, I failed out at engineering school. It took me 10 years to get a master's degree because the first 4 years I was doing engineering and trying to be an aerospace engineer. That is not me. I'm an artist. I'm left-handed, and I'm all about the art, the creativeness of the design and things like that. I leave all the math to the engineers, okay? But we're trying here to show here, let's see, 2,000, and let's just say that you're getting $100 a kilo, right? Because you're doing it much more of a retail. I mean, we're talking 200. Yes, brother. Yes, we have someone in India right now that is really like, I'm blowing your mind right now. $500 in the US for a kilo? Yes, because we're breaking it down. We're selling it in small packages like this. This is at a retail price. I know how much you're selling it for. I know how much people in India are bringing it over to the US, but that's much more in a bulk. That means that the retail companies in the US, they're making upwards of $500 a kilo. Now, I'm going to the farmer's market and I'm selling my bags. That's my brothers are here. Yes, I told them we're live right now. I told them that they were coming. Oh, good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right. Good to see you, brother. All right, so we're live here. We got our team here. Thanks, Benjamin, for coming by. Awesome. Thanks, brothers. Hey, all right, we're talking big money right now. We've got somebody in India. He was like, "You make $500 a kilo?" And I'm like, yes. When you break it down, you put it like this. Oh, awesome. You know what I'm saying?
This is awesome.
So $200,000. $200,000 in 1 year on 1 acre using this system right here. I just gave you the keys. I just gave them to him. And so that concludes our live today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Go ahead and download this free book right now. I wrote this book. It's at moringagrowerscoop.org. You can download this free book. It's called The Fast Track to Success. Go to moringagrowerscoop.org, download this free book, and I'll teach you everything you need to know about becoming profitable moringa farmer here in the USA or even around the world. In this system, get your moringa sold through the co-op. We help broker your moringa, and we'll help get it sold for you. All right, brothers and sisters, enjoy the day. We've been here over an hour already.
Awesome.
Love you guys. Peace, love, prosperous growing. Until next week, I'll see you then. Ciao.